All right, let's get this show started.
Michael Chandler has some words for Colby Covington. Chandler recently made an appearance on Steve-O's Wild Ride podcast where he slammed Covington's character and hilariously mocked his UFC 296 performance.
Well, for a guy who talks about everyone being triggered, he sure was afraid to pull the trigger. And then I also said if his offense tonight was an accurate depiction of U.S. strength, we would have never gained our independence, lost World War I, and got demoralized in World War II. Now, I only say that because I don't like to talk a lot of trash, and never do I ever want to step on a guy when he's down after he loses, right? Because I hate when people do that to me. We all hate it. But whenever you've created such a fake character, like you've become the character, it's like, well, I'm not actually hating on Colby Covington, the heartbeat, the guy outside of just the fighting. You're hating on the character, just like it's WWE. And funny thing is, I think he crossed the line. I think he's I don't know, he's not my style. I think he and I might actually agree on a decent amount of things, but I think his delivery is just asinine. Yeah, I mean, there's a line you won't cross. There's a line you won't let your character cross. You know, just like there could be like actual actors who are like, hey, I'm an actor and I'll do anything in this fantasy world that we call, you know, film, but I have certain things that I don't want to do on camera or whatever. Like I don't know. It's he and I are not. I've actually never spoken a word to the guy, but I do have mutual friends who are like, oh, I swear he's a nice guy. I'm like, maybe.
Israel Adesanya has posted new video as he enjoys his life outside of fighting.
Coming live from the 1 out of 5. Coming live from the 3-2 time.
Sean Strickland recently took on another professional boxer in a wild sparring session. The UFC middleweight champ did a few rounds with undefeated pro boxer Robin Safar. The footage was recorded back in April 2023. Here's the clip. Dricus du Plessis has surprisingly praised Sean Strickland despite starting a brawl at UFC 296. In a recent interview with UFC News, the South African fighter discussed their upcoming fight and gave respect to Strickland for being a great fighter.
Yeah, I mean, obviously after that performance, there's just no denying the guy. You know, he's one of those fighters who's always going to come out and, you know, the lights doesn't bother him, the moment doesn't bother him. So he's going to come out and he's going to fight the way he fights. He never fights worse, he never fights better. He always fights the way he fights. And that's always a good fight. So, I mean, nothing but respect for him as a fighter. I think he's an exceptional fighter. I think, you know, him being almost having the attitude of I don't really give a shit about anything. I think a lot of people make the mistake that you think that's how he approaches his career, which is not the fact. I think he's a brilliant athlete, and I think he takes his career very seriously, and he deserves to be where he is.
Dricus also explained why his fighting style will cause a lot of problems for Strickland.
Well, maybe if he is the best striker in the world, which I very highly doubt, you know, styles make fights. He fought the best style to beat Israel Adesanya, but you know, I fight the best style to knock out anybody in the world, and we saw that against Whittaker. That's never happened to him before. And you have to ask yourself the question, do you think Robert Whittaker loses against Sean Strickland, if you want to go on that math? And no, he doesn't. There's no way that happens. But, you know, I think our styles, we both have a very weird style. So I think it's going to be one hell of a clash. And I think this is a fan-friendly fight. It's going to be
Cody Garbrandt has saluted Alexander Volkanovski for speaking up about mental health issues. MMA often sidelines mental health. Athletes in their physical prime usually try to work out their mental issues through physical training. Recently, Volkanovski opened up and said that he struggles mentally when doesn't have a fight booked. Now, in an interview with ESPN MMA, Garbrandt praised Volk for starting a discussion about mental health and also opened up about his mental health.
Anxiety, depression, like all that stuff comes through, you know, like even after a fight for me, like the next few days should be just, you know, good. I'm thankful, you know, gratitude. I get to be able to come home and see my family. But even after that, I still get like high anxiety because it's like I've literally just spent my whole, you know, last 10 to 12 weeks, you know, routine of what I was doing. So it's like after the fight, you got to take some time off, let your body heal. Not necessarily. Some people go right back to training. That's why, because it's like you never shut your mind off. But you know, for me, the body needs it. You know, I have this week off where I'm come back home to see my family in Ohio. But yeah, it's tough. It's constantly, you know, up and down battle. You know, mental battle, anxiety. Like I don't know too many people's jobs out there in the world that when they go to work, they're driving to work, that they pray and hope that they don't get injured, you know, inside of training. That's just to train. This is just to get to the fight, you know, and outside, you know, once you get in the fight, hopefully nothing brutally bad happens inside the, you know, octagon. You get to come home and enjoy that little bit of downtime you had before, you know, you get back to training. So it's a constant mental battle, you know, and I, you know, salute Volk for, you know, speaking out about that. I think more fighters need to, you know, be outspoken about what they're going through, you know, to help the younger generation understand it's okay to have these feelings. It's okay to, you know, sometimes have those demons of doubts, but, you know, it's what you do. It's what you do and how you get through those, you know, mental battles is what's going to make you a champion.
Nate Diaz is eager to make a comeback to the UFC and has set his sights on a rematch with Leon Edwards for UFC 300. Nate recently tweeted this: "Despite Diaz's previous loss to Edwards, he nearly pulled off an upset and has expressed admiration for Edwards' skills and performance. He has also declined call-outs from other fighters and currently doesn't seem interested in a trilogy fight with Conor McGregor. Who would you guys like to see Nate fight in his UFC return? Let us know in the comments below." Conor McGregor recently attended the Day of Reckoning boxing event in Saudi Arabia. There he had an interview with TalkSport where he vented out his frustrations with the UFC regarding his return. Now, Dana White went live on Instagram and mentioned that he and McGregor have recently chatted about Conor's possible comeback date. Twitter user named MMA Orbit posted this. Dana White said, "We talked tonight. I'm in Abu Dhabi. He's in Dubai. We're gonna figure something out. We're talking."
1 o'clock in the morning here in Abu Dhabi. Incredible.
And here are the top 3 memes found on the internet today. Thanks for watching. If you like the content, smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe to stay in the talk.